and I'm here today with Emil Geddes, a legend in Brentwood education. How are you doing today, Emil?
I'm doing well, thank you. Especially just having had that humbling time and my family being here and friends and everyone sharing.
It must have been overwhelming
It
that
was
night.
more than overwhelming.
I wanted to ask you some questions about
Sure.
your background and your experience as an educator. What was the first piece of music that you ever heard that inspired you?
Well, my father, I grew up on a ranch out on Marsh Creek Road, and my father had been a professional musician. And so the family, we all played. My dad obviously played. My mom didn't. She was the one that pushed. I'll answer your question, but my mom used to say, well, you can either help with the dishes or help clean up or you can practice. And so I think there were all kinds of motivation to keep us involved. But I would imagine the first music would have been through that, hearing it played, we always had a piano. We played for churches and stuff when I was young. I think I was 9 years old when I was a ward organist in the church and stuff.
What was the hardest part of teaching music to young students?
I don't know if there was a hard part. I just know that I had large groups. I mean, someone mentioned the other night, they said Geddes had 200 kids. You know, when I was the district music teacher, I'd take large groups of elementary kids and pound on the piano and teach. And so that was, hard is maybe not the most challenging part would be a better thing. Of course, kids should be busy in many aspects of education, and music is part of it, and it's part of what engages some kids to come to school and want to be part of it.
And what was the happiest moment you ever had as a teacher?
I can remember those moments when you'd see the lights come on, and some kid would say, I get it.
And what do you see as the future of music education in public schools?
Well, first of all, music has been in every culture, every recorded culture. I've said that when people say, what's the value of something that if you don't think it has value, why has it sustained worldly through every culture, through everything? So it will continue. It's just people sometimes think it distracts from academics or distracts, when in fact I believe it does just the opposite. It augments and enhances academics.
How have you fought off attempts to cut music education in Brentwood?
Well, there hasn't been in Brentwood. Although financially, fiduciarily, we had to cut some of the elementary music program because we just couldn't afford to have extra teachers, and so training and then obligation then comes to classroom teacher, which for many is more challenging than others.
In recent years, you've been an educator for decades.
Yes.
And one of the biggest areas that does change over the years is technology, particularly digital music.
It's wonderful.
What do you think about sampling and MIDI? And
I love it. You know, it's part of the evolution of instruments, and that has always been, I think it started with the drum, you know, and everything has expanded from hitting to more sophisticated. But electronics gives the ability to diversify, to expand it's allowed musicians to have one person with a computer and a guitar or something sing and play and get paid and earn a living, and it's just then the challenge of new music too. You can do so much more with technology. I don't see any conflict whatsoever.
Tell us about your most challenging student and how it turned out?
Well, again, challenge is another word, because sometimes I've had challenging students who were handicapped, who needed special attention, maybe couldn't compete the same way, but still deserved the opportunity to participate. You sell music not just on music, but what it does for the hemispheres of the brain, what it does for expanding timing, rhythm, reading, discipline, a great group of kids to be with. So it has other merits than just trying to sell music. So that's been the most challenging. Sometimes has been situations where some people didn't value it as an academic or as a discipline or anything of value.
Another question I had for you: when you're in your car and you're taking off for a long drive, what do you listen to?
I listen mostly to classical and opera.
Those are your favorite ones?
Those are my, not favorite, it's just ones that I often listen to.
Mm. What's the biggest misconception from administrators about music education in public schools?
Well, I think that sometimes,
Or just the misconception in the public about
music. Sometimes I don't think people who haven't been involved with it and haven't had it part of their lives don't see the value. And it's like an extra that's been added on in some people's perspective of education.
What is your teaching style?
There are many successful teaching styles. That's one thing that I've learned. Mine was let's get going and energetic.
In 55, 56 years of teaching, do you have any regrets?
No. I mean, I have regrets that I've made bad decisions or I should have made a different decision, and obviously, but I don't buy into regrets. I buy into learning. You make mistakes. Hey, we all make mistakes. And it's transition from working with, the only thing is I left the actual classroom, and sometimes I regret that, because I think those moments were the highlights of my life.
On behalf of the press, and thank you on all your experiences as a teacher here.
Thank you, and I just would like to add that the community, the school system, we're all together in Brentwood, and it's been a wonderful life to this point. Even administratively, because I've been on the board 25 years, so I'm not as direct in the classroom, but still feel that I can give that same excitement and intensity and joy that comes from being involved.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.